today I'm going to do another Let's Read video. So if you remember quite a while ago, I did my first one and I read to you all Barbie of Swan Lake, my favourite Barbie movie. And I did want to actually make a series out of it and read some of the other classic Barbie tales, but I didn't actually think too many people were interested because the video didn't get that much feedback until Katie showed me how many views the video actually has gotten now. And so I thought, why not do another one? And so today, be excited because I am going to be reading Barbie as Princess and the Pauper. I know that everyone enjoys this movie very, very much. I thought perhaps some of you might enjoy hearing me read it. But yeah, let's all get comfortable and into the story.
Long ago and far away, two lovely little girls were born. Erica grew up in a small village, toiling as a seamstress. Annalise grew up in a big, beautiful palace, learning her royal duties as a princess. They led very different lives, but they looked exactly the same, except for their hair color. One day, the queen discovered that the royal gold mines were empty. She wanted her daughter, Annalise, to marry the rich King Dominic, so that there would be enough money to take care of all the people in the kingdom. Princess Annalise, however, was in love with her tutor, Julian. "I wish I were free to do what I want," Princess Annalise said as she and Julian walked through the village. Suddenly, they heard beautiful singing. It was Erica. The princess saw Erica and thought she was looking in a mirror. "You look just like me," Princess Annalise told Erica. "Except for our hair color and this crown-shaped birthmark on my shoulder, we could be twins." The two girls quickly became friends. The princess learned that Erica had to pay off her parents' debt and worked at Madame Carp's dress shop. Before saying goodbye, Annalise promised to have Erica sing at the palace one day. Meanwhile, no one knew that the royal advisor Preminger had stolen the queen's gold. He was now rich and he wanted the princess to marry him to save the kingdom. More than anything, he wanted to be king. When Preminger learned that the princess was going to marry King Dominic, he was furious. He had the princess kidnapped and taken to an abandoned royal cabin. He then told the queen that Princess Annalise had run away, and the queen would be so grateful when Preminger later returned the princess that she would let him marry her daughter. Julian didn't believe Preminger's story. He went to Madame Carp's dress shop and asked Erica to help him. "Me? What can I do?" Erica asked. "Pretend to be Princess Annalise while I find out what's going on," said Julian. "Who would ever believe I'm a princess?" asked Erica. "Leave that to me," Julian said, smiling. So, with a blonde wig and some coaching, Erica learned how to walk, act, and dress like the princess. Julian went back to the palace and announced that the princess had returned. When King Dominic was introduced to Erica, he fell in love with her beautiful voice and sweet nature. Erica fell in love with the king because he was gentle and kind. "There's something about you," King Dominic said. "You're honest and down to earth. You don't act like a princess." Erica wished she could tell the king the truth, but first Julian had to find the real princess. At the royal cabin, Princess Annalise planned her escape. Covering her cat Serafina with a white sheet, the princess called to her kidnappers, "Help! A ghost!" When Preminger's men rushed to open the door, Serafina dropped the sheet over them. The princess and Serafina then fled to the palace. Everyone at the palace believed that Erica was the princess, even Preminger. He raced to the cabin to see what had happened to Princess Annalise. Julian secretly followed him. Preminger was furious when he discovered that Annalise was gone. "Where is the princess, Preminger?" Julian demanded. "What have you done with her?" "You're the tutor. You should have all the answers," Preminger replied as his men captured Julian. Princess Annalise made her way back to the palace gates, but seeing her stained and dirty clothes, no one believed she was the princess. The guards wouldn't let her in. With nowhere else to turn, Annalise went to Madame Carp's dress shop to see if Erica could help her. Madame Carp saw the princess and thought she was Erica. "You lazy girl," the dressmaker scolded. "You're not leaving until every dress is finished." Then Madame Carp locked Princess Annalise in the shop. The princess tried to send a message to the palace. She tied her royal ring to one of Madame Carp's dress labels and attached it to Seraphina's collar. "Take this to the palace," Princess Annalise instructed her cat. "When they see the label, it will lead them here." Unfortunately, Preminger found Seraphina first. He went to Madame Carp's shop and pretended he wanted to help Princess Annalise. But instead of returning her to the palace, he took the princess to the abandoned gold mine. When Princess Annalise found Julian tied up, she realized that Preminger was behind her own kidnapping. "Now I'm going to tell the queen you have been in an unfortunate mining accident, and she'll have to marry me to save the kingdom," Preminger said. "No one will believe you," said Princess Annalise. "They will when they see this," Preminger laughed as he showed them the princess's ring. Preminger left the mine and had his men knock down the beams leading to the entrance. Princess Annalise and Julian were trapped. At the palace, King Dominic offered Erica a beautiful engagement ring and asked her to marry him. "But that girl isn't the princess," Preminger announced. "She's an imposter." "What proof do you have?" asked King Dominic. Suddenly, Preminger's dog Minos jumped up and pulled off Erica's wig. "And look at her shoulder," Preminger directed. "There's no royal birthmark. Take her to the dungeon." The king's ambassador was outraged. He made the king leave the palace immediately. Preminger held up Annalise's royal ring. He told the queen the princess was dead. "What will I do without my daughter?" cried the queen. "What will become of my kingdom now?" "I can save your kingdom," said Preminger. "I've made quite a bit of money in my businesses. Marry me and your problem will be solved." Reluctantly, the queen agreed. Meanwhile, the princess and Julian were desperately trying to find a way out of the gold mine. Suddenly, Erica's cat Wolfie appeared. The clever cat led them toward an old mine shaft, but they couldn't climb to the opening. It was too steep. As they stopped to rest, Annalise noticed a rock that had split open, showing sparkling crystal. "Look! Geodes!" exclaimed the princess. "I never knew we had them in the mine." Julian swung his pickaxe and dislodged some of the rocks near a bubbling pool of water. The water shot up like a geyser. "That's the way out!" Annalise shouted. The water filled the mine and lifted them through the shaft to freedom. Meanwhile, Erica sang a beautiful song that slowly put the guards in the dungeon to sleep. She then tiptoed out, right into the arms of King Dominic. He was dressed as a guard and had returned to rescue her. "What are you doing here?" Erica asked the king. "I don't care if you're not the princess," King Dominic said. "I like you for being who you are. You're the first person who's ever believed in me," said Erica. As she spoke, she realized that the king was in love with her. But there was no time to waste. The palace guards would soon realize that Erica was missing. The king and Erica ran to his horse and rode off to safety. The wedding of Preminger and the queen was about to begin when Princess Annalise burst in. "Stop the wedding!" Annalise shouted. "It's the imposter!" Preminger exclaimed. "No, Preminger," the princess said as she showed everyone the crown-shaped birthmark on her shoulder. "I'm Princess Annalise, and I'm alive." Knowing that his evil plan was falling apart, Preminger tried to escape. He jumped onto his horse Hervé and raced away, but Hervé realized that Preminger was evil and galloped right back to the palace. When the horse finally stopped short, Preminger landed in the royal wedding cake and was quickly arrested. When I think what might have happened, the Queen shuddered. But it didn't, thanks to Erica and Julian, Princess Annalise said. Julian is the man I love. He had Erica pretend to be me so he could save me. I want you to be happy, the Queen told her, but the kingdom is in trouble. Don't worry, Mother, the gold mine isn't worthless after all, the princess explained. We found geodes in the mines. They're very valuable and will save the kingdom. Then Princess Annalise thanked Erica and paid off the girl's debt at Madame Pauper's shop. Erica was free. King Dominic proposed to Erica, and after following her dream of singing and traveling the world, she returned to marry the king. That spring, the most beautiful double wedding the kingdom had ever seen took place. Princess Annalise married Julian, and Erica married King Dominic. Serafina and Wolfie had many, many kittens together, and they all lived happily ever after.
That is the end of Barbie, Princess and the Pauper. I hope you all enjoyed this video. This is such a lovely book. I really like it. It's a little bit different to my Swan Lake one. Actually, I thought it was the same when I purchased it. The Swan Lake one is actually a little golden book, or a big golden book. But yes, as you can see, it says this little golden book belongs to, and I've written my name. It says golden books down there. And I actually thought that the Princess and the Pauper one was also a golden book when I purchased it, so I thought it was going to be the same, but it is not a golden book. It just says here, this book belongs to no little golden book. So it's not a golden book, and it's actually a little bit wider than my Swan Lake one, as you can see. And the colour strip, which is actually what made me think it was the same kind of book, is a little bit thinner than the Swan Lake one, and the Swan Lake one is, as you can tell, hardcover, and the Princess and the Pauper one is more of a soft cardboard cover, and it is also very floppy. And the Swan Lake one is not. So yeah, just a couple of differences between these books, but they're both lovely. I like them both very much. But yes, thank you all for watching. Please let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see me do more, and maybe even leave some suggestions as to what classic Barbie story you might like to hear me read. And I will see you in our next video. Peace!